I used to feel like life wasn't meant to be good for me. I used to be so miserable that I felt like every single bad thing that happened to me was just how my life was supposed to be. I used to think that I wasn't deserving of love, I wasn't deserving of having friends, I wasn't deserving of accomplishing anything in my life. But since then, I know that this is not true at all. I've had so much time to figure things out and to learn new things and to get new knowledge about life that I don't see it as a curse. I don't see every bad thing that's happened in my life as horrible anymore. I've been going through things like every other human in this world. We all go through things and there's not really much we can do about it. Bad stuff will happen regardless of how good your life is. But how we face them, how we actually react to these things, that will determine whether or not you will be happy in your life. In this video, I will be sharing 10 life lessons I've learned that has changed my life completely. But before we get into this video, I want to remind y'all to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. And also, if you have any suggestions of what videos I should make next, please leave a comment and I will get into it. With that said, let's get into this video. The first thing I learned is to never, ever be dependent on other people. If we are attached to another person, we will seek their validation in everything. When we are attached to other people, it makes us vulnerable. We are naturally wired to feel attached to other people. But when it becomes so serious that everything you do, you have to seek that validation from another human being, it can be very harmful. I have been in relationships and friendships with people that I felt attached to. And what this did to me was that they knew that I needed their validation. And they knew that no matter how much they hurt me, I would stay because I craved that attention from them. I craved their attention, their validation, and the comfort of just being around someone. And this is not healthy at all. You can never, ever be happy if you constantly seek validation from other people. The only one you need validation from is yourself. The only one that you truly need love from is yourself. Of course, it's important to feel love from other people, but at the end of the day, we are the only one we have until the end. I've said it before, but loving ourselves is the only thing that will truly makes us happy. Because if we don't like ourselves, we will put ourselves in very vulnerable situations that can actually hurt us even more. But what I did to attach from other people is that I put more time into myself. I put so much time into discovering what I could change to make myself feel happy, rather than going to another person to seek their validation. I also put in a lot of work to start my YouTube channel. I put in a lot of work to accomplish the things I wanted to accomplish. I made vision boards. I studied more. I journaled, because that also can improve your mental health. But if you don't love yourself, if you feel like you don't matter, you should always work on yourself before getting into relationships. Because if you don't, you will only attract what you feel about yourself. Because the truth is that we always attract what we think we deserve. And that brings me into the next topic, the law of attraction. My favorite topic ever. I feel like it's so interesting and I love to talk about it. Anyways, going back to what I said before, if we feel like we don't deserve love, we will most likely attract a very toxic person into our lives. Because have you ever noticed that if you feel like you don't deserve something, if you feel like you are worthless, that you don't deserve love, that you are like ugly or whatever you may be thinking, if you are thinking those things, you will only attract bad people that will only make that feeling feel bigger than it was before. You might attract someone that is good in the beginning, but then ends up being very manipulative. And that is because we attract exactly the way we feel about ourselves. But thankfully, that works the exact same way the other way around. So if we work on ourselves and we truly believe that we deserve better, that we don't deserve just the bare minimum, that we deserve someone loving in our life, someone that supports us, then we will attract that person because that's what we believe. And that's why it's so important to work on ourselves before getting into relationships, because we always get what we believe. We always get what we deserve. So if we think that we deserve nothing, then we will get nothing or a person that will make you feel worse. But if you believe that you truly deserve somebody who truly loves you, then guess what? You will get that. You will attract that exact energy. Something you have to keep in mind though is when it comes to the law of attraction, you can't attract just anyone you want. You can't attract a specific person because at the end of the day, this person actually has to be attracted to you as well. But overall, if you want to attract a loving partner, then you will attract a loving partner. If we want to reach a certain goal, then we can also attract that. It's all about beliefs. It's all about thinking that we deserve it and thinking that we can achieve it. That is what law of attraction is. A few years ago, I used to feel so embarrassed over literally everything. I couldn't take up space anywhere because I felt like it was so embarrassing, and I was afraid to talk in front of people. I was afraid to do literally anything to make myself feel seen. But I'm here to tell you that feeling embarrassed will limit you so much in life. If we are embarrassed, we are afraid to feeling judged. We are afraid of being judged. But I'm here to tell you that no matter what you do, you will always be judged in some sort of way. That might not be the best thing to hear, but that is the truth. But that was also what encouraged me, because when I finally realized that no matter what I do, I will always be judged in some way, I will always be disliked by someone, that gave me freedom. Because that meant that no matter what I do, somebody's going to judge me, but that also meant I might as well do what I want to do, because regardless, somebody is going to judge me. However, this can be different. Like, if you, for example, trip in like the school cafeteria and you feel like, oh my god, that was so embarrassing, people will not think about you. People will not think about that forever. They will go home and they will think about their own problems, their own lives, and whatever they did that day. They will not think about you. They might judge you in the moment, but they will most likely forget about you completely. So what I like to think is that either people will like maybe laugh at me, but then go home and forget about it, or they will judge me and I won't let that bother me, because at the end of the day, people might judge us however much they want, but we shouldn't let that affect how we feel about ourselves. Because if another person is so desperate, like if they feel like they need to judge other people constantly, then that says more about them than it does about us. Because a normal person wouldn't walk around and judge other people. A normal person would put that energy into living their own lives and achieving their own goals and dreams. So why would you let one person that is judging you determine whether or not you should pursue your dream? That is kind of stupid. So if you are afraid of being judged or feeling embarrassed, keep that in mind. That even if they do judge you, it says more about them than you. And also, putting yourself out there and pursuing your dream is such a brave thing to do. And even if you might feel like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing, you are doing what they are not. You are putting in the work that they are not doing themselves. Who you surround yourself with will determine whether or not you become successful. If you hang out with people that has a horrible mindset, horrible attitude, is judging other people, you will never become successful. Because if you only hang around with people who feel that way, you will also become one of those people. Because we as humans, we are social creatures. We always adapt to who we are around. We adapt to our environment all the time. So if you are hanging out with someone who thinks that, oh, that's not possible, then it won't be possible. But it works the same way as if you are hanging out with people that is encouraging, that is motivating you to achieve your goal, then you will achieve your goal because you are being encouraged by the people around you. You are not spending your time judging other people along with your friend group. You are putting in the energy into pursuing your own dreams. And that is exactly what will make you successful. If you are in a friend group, or if you have a friend that is talking bad about other people, spending all their time and energy gossiping, I would advise you to at least distance yourself from this person. If the only thing this person is doing is pushing negative beliefs on you and is making you a worse person, then it's not worth to be around this person. My mom has asked me before, she has asked me, how do I stay motivated with posting on social media? Because I post one short, one TikTok every single day. And of course, there's people expecting me to say that, like, oh, what is my trick to stay motivated? What is my trick? Where is my trick? There is no trick. I hate to break it to you, but there is no trick. The only thing I do every single day is that I stick to the plan, not my mood. There is days where I wake up and I feel like, oh, it's not even worth it, it's not even worth it. But then I was like, yes, it is. It is worth it. I might not have the energy, but I need to stay consistent to achieve my goals and achieve my dreams. The only thing I'm doing in that moment is that I'm making up excuses for myself. So what I do when I feel like I don't have the energy to post, if I have a bad day or whatever, like, I just do it. I just do it. There's no other way. And I hate to break it to you, there's gonna be bad days, but the only thing you can do is push through it. You have to remind yourself that one day can determine whether or not you succeed or flop. And sometimes when we miss one day, that one day turns into 2 days. And then 2 days turns into 3 days. And then all of a sudden we have stopped posting or we have stopped working to our dreams just because of that one day. And that is what motivates me to posting more. Because I am not afraid of flopping. I am afraid of giving up at this point. Because even though not all my videos are doing amazing all the time, consistency is what will bring me success. And that is why it's so important to stick to the plan and not your mood. Because if you don't stick to the plan, you will never achieve your goals. Something else I learned is that life is only as good as your mindset. If you have a bad mindset, if you feel like, oh, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Always living in that victim role, then guess what? Nothing is ever gonna be good for you. If you feel like life is horrible and that nothing is worth it, then I hate to break it to you, but that is your reality. If you truly believe that life is shit, then life is shit. It's gonna be shit if you believe it is. But if you truly feel that everything happens for a reason, sure, it was difficult now, but it will get easier eventually, then guess what? Life will be so much easier. And for me, like, I have been through hell. I've been through so much shit. But what made me actually feel happy was when I realized that everything happened for a reason. And even though I went through all that shit, it was a lesson. I learned to not trust certain people. I learned not to do certain things again. But if you start thinking that life is actually good and life is worth living, then guess what? Life will figure itself out and you will become so much happier. And the thing with your mindset is that you will never ever achieve anything if you have a bad mindset, because you might start something, but then you will immediately give up when it gets difficult. That is why mindset is so important to work on, because everything always comes down to your mindset. If you think that you don't deserve anything, then you won't get anything. If you think that you deserve everything, you might start getting a bunch of stuff you actually think you deserve. Positive things, relationships, cars, a job. Everything comes down to your mindset and your attitude. And I became so much happier once I started changing my attitude to life. I became so much more grateful once I started to develop a good mindset for myself. And something that really affected my mindset and how I felt about life is when I started practicing being grateful. Feeling grateful is what will make you the most happy in life. Because sometimes we focus so much on the things we don't have that we forget what we actually do have in our lives. For me, that was a big thing, because I always felt like I needed more things. I needed more stuff into my life. But when I eventually got them, I wasn't grateful. I wasn't happy. I didn't feel a single bit of joy from it. And that was because I wasn't grateful for what I had to begin with. So what that led to was that I kept wanting things. I kept wanting things constantly. I never had enough of anything. So when I stopped myself and I realized that, like, I have to be grateful for what I have rather than what I don't, because if I keep searching for new things, then I will never be happy. I will never be happy if I constantly have to get new things to feel like my life is enough. A few ways you can practice gratefulness is through journaling and saying affirmations. For me, for example, I'm very grateful for my YouTube channel. I'm grateful for all of my subscribers, and yeah, that's just an example. But you can just write down whatever you want, whatever you're grateful for, and it will help. When it comes to friends, you have to realize that if they wanted to, they would. If they wanted to reach out to you, they would. If they wanted to hang out with you, they would. If you are always the person who has to put in the effort to hang out or even talk, then there's your answer. If somebody truly cared about you, then they would reach out to you. They would keep in contact with you. They would not make you question whether or not you're actually friends. And that is something I had to learn the hard way, because I had a lot of friendships where it was pretty much one-sided, because I was always the one having to call, I was always the one having to keep in contact, but if I didn't say anything, then they wouldn't say anything either. And sometimes, even though I did reach out, they would completely ghost me. So this is just a reminder that if they wanted to, they would. And I can guarantee that there's so many good people in this world. You don't have to settle for people who don't even want to talk to you. Jealousy shows you exactly what you want. So when you look at someone and they have something or they do something that you feel jealous of, that just tells you that that is something you want to have yourself. Rather than being pissed off that someone else has something you want, you should be happy, because that tells you exactly what you want. So if you're struggling to come up with, like, I don't know what goals I have, I don't know what I like, what I want in my life, just look at the things you're jealous of. Just look at the things you're jealous of, and that will tell you exactly what you need to know. If somebody is doing social media and you're like jealous of them because they're putting themselves out there, then that's all you need to know. That's literally what you want. If you see someone who has a car you want or a house you want, that just tells you what you want and what you want to work for. So rather than just staying jealous, you should actually make it a goal and work for it, because it's not impossible. But if you believe it's impossible, I hate to break it to you, but it is. It all comes down to your mindset, like I said before. So the last thing I want to talk about in this video is pain and why it's good in some cases. You might be thinking, Em, why do you say that pain is good? Why do you say that pain is good? Like mental pain, or like, because it teaches us stuff. It teaches us so much. I have so many situations in my life where it was literally horrible. When I was bullied, for example, I felt like shit every single day, but it taught me a lot of stuff. It taught me to not let people walk all over me. It taught me that even though some people might be acting tough on the outside, they are actually miserable because they're projecting their own insecurities onto you. So pain isn't always a bad thing. Pain can actually teach us stuff. Some experience we have is actually teaching us something. Maybe it's to not do something again or to watch out for certain things, but what I like to think of is that pain isn't all bad. Sure, some scenarios where something really, really, really horrible happened, then of course it's not good. But if you learn something from this experience, then I actually think it's really good. You learn a lot when it comes to friendships and relationships, for example. Like, I have, as y'all know, been friends with a bunch of different people, and they all teach me different things. And at the end of it, I think I have the self-respect I have now thanks to all those experiences, because it taught me like what not to do and who not to trust and what standards I should have overall. So with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want more videos like this. And also, if you have any topic you want me to talk about, then feel free to leave it in the comments. I will read it. I can guarantee that. And I will see y'all in the next video. Love y'all. Bye.